Hello everyone. My name is Ashton Braggs and welcome to my presentation. This video summarizes my experience and the project I built during my Stack web development internship. The internship provided a practical hands-on opportunity to learn and apply full stack development skills using the Stack. The final result is a project called homelyhub, which I'm excited to share with you guys today. Going to this internship, I had several key goals. My primary goal was to gain proficiency in each part of the Mon stack, which is MongoDB, Express.js, React, and Node.js. I wanted to learn how the front end and the back end connect and communicate through the APIs. It was important for me to build a functional, feature rich application, not just some small exercises. I aim to tackle common web development challenges and debug issues effectively. The project I developed is called homelyhub. It's a platform for booking accommodations. Nothing but it's like a clone of Airbnb. The core requirements were user must be able to sign up, log in and manage their profiles. User must be able to browse and filter available properties. Authenticated users must be able to list their own properties with details and images. Users must be able to book property for specific dates and make payments. Users must be able to view their past bookings. Now in architecture and design, I use the classic MERN stack architecture, which is a three-tier design. The front end, which is the client side built with React.js, it handles the user interface and makes requests to the backend. The second is backend, which is the server built with Node.js and Express.js. It defines the APIs and endpoints like login, properties, handles business logic, and connects to the database. I use MongoDB to store all application data like user, properties, and bookings. This tier communication uses a RESTful API. Now, full stack development means building both the front end and the back end of an application. The Monstack is a popular set of technologies for this because it uses JavaScript for everything, from MongoDB to Express.js, which is the backend framework, then to React, which is the front end library, and Node.js, that is the server environment. Using JavaScript everywhere makes the development process very efficient. Now I'd like to dive deeper into the specific front-end technologies I learned and implemented in homelyhub project, starting with HTML. So now in HTML learnings, structure and semantics, I understood the importance of using tags like nev in which was used in header.jsx and footer.jsx instead of just div tags. Improves accessibility for screen readers and helps search engine optimizations. Then learned how to structure forms using the form tag, group inputs with div or similar, and use label tags linked to input with HTML for better usability. Learned about various input types like text, email, password, number, file, checkbox, time, and when to use each for better data validation and user experience. Understood key attributes like ID, class name, which was used for CSS styling, value, placeholder, and required. Now HTML tags which are implemented in homelyhub is navigation for navigation. Created the main site navigation using the nav tag in header.jsx. Built several key forms. The first one was login and sign up using input type email and input type password. Then for accommodation creation used various inputs like text, number, text area, select, checkbox and file, and password management forms. Then structure used a semantic structure in components like property listing.jsx, mainly H2 and P tags, and in booking details.jsx used H6 section and span. Included labeled elements for all form inputs to improve accessibility. Now in CSS learnings, learned how to target HTML elements using class selectors, ID selectors and descendant selectors. Understood concepts like padding, margin, border and how they affect element size and spacing. Now in layout techniques, first one is CSS grid. Learned how to create a grid based layouts using display which was grid template columns and gap which we had implemented in home.css for property list. Learned how display flex works for aligning items in rows or columns. Learned various CSS properties for controlling appearance like color, background color, font family, border radius, box shadow. Then learned how to add simple animations and visual feedback using transition and hover pseudo class, which made the front end more attractive. Now CSS implemented in homelyhub created property gallery on homepage using CSS grid to display properties in neat columns. Used flexbox via bootstraps.row and custom CSS like in booking details.css to arrange elements side by side. Implemented responsive layouts using bootstrap grid class. Wrote custom media queries to adjust styles for different screen sizes, ensure the app looks good on mobile, tablet and desktop. Styled forms, buttons and models, and cards to create a consistent look and feel for the application. Now in visual feedback, added hover effects to property cards and booking containers in home screen to make the UI more interactive. Now the JavaScript learnings are using const and let to declare variables and working with strings, numbers, booleans, arrays and objects, defining and calling functions. Then understood the event loop and handling using I understood the event loop and handling user interactions like on click, on change and on submit, which were used in login.jsx, payment form and image uploading.jsx files. Learned why asynchronous operations are needed. Now, for example, fetching data from the server and how to handle them using async, await, and promises. Then learned with working with arrays using array methods like .map function in mybooking.jsx, property amenities.jsx, .filter in amenities field.jsx, .slice, and the spread operator. Utilizing modern JavaScript features like template literals and deconstructing and modules for import and export. Now, JavaScript implementation in homelyhub created functions to handle button clicks. That is on click in mybookings.jsx, images uploading in JSX, form submissions in on submit in login.jsx and accommodation form.jsx and input changes. Used e.prevent default in form submissions. Then made asynchronous API calls, external APIs and backend APIs. Now for external APIs, used fetch with async await to get map coordinates for OpenStreetMap in map component.jsx. In backend API, triggered API calls via Redux actions to log in user, sign up users, create accommodations, fetch properties, and handle payments, and fetch bookings. Process data received from APIs. Example mapping overbooking in mybooking.jsx, formatting dates with moment in payment form.jsx file. Used if statement and conditional rendering to show and hide elements based on data or user state. Implemented image preview and uploaded functionality using file reader API in image uploading.jsx. Now React learnings. Understood how to break down the UI into reusable pieces called components. Learned the syntax that allow writing HTML-like structures within the JavaScript. Understood how to pass data down from parent components to child components. Example, passing images to property image and amenities to property amenities file. Learned that state is data that changes over time within a component and causes re-renders. Now, two hooks of React are useState and useEffect. In useState, learned how to declare and update state variables within functional components. In useEffect, learned how to perform side effects like fetching data from an API when a component mounts or when certain prop state change. Learned how to display different UI elements based on conditions. Example, showing a loading spinner or checking if user exists. Learned how to implement client-side routing using browser router routes, route, link, and use navigate to create a single page application experience. Now React implementation in homelyhub built the app using many reusable components like header, footer, property list, property listing, payment form, login, and sign up. Pass data down through props in component like propertylisting.jsx, sending images to propertyimage.jsx and amenities to propertyamenities.jsx file. Use the useState hook extensively to manage local component state, such as form inputs, model visibility, and calculated values. Used use effect to fetch initial data when components load. That is example fetching properties in property list via Redux action, fetching bookings in my bookings file, and fetching map coordinates in map component.jsx file. Set up application-wide routing in app.jsx file using React Router DOM to navigate between different pages like the homepage, property details, login, profile, and bookings. Implemented protected routes using map based on is authenticated state. Integrated libraries like React Leaflet and Date Picker and React Host Toast and React Redux. Now, React Redux is for global state management. Now, that concludes with the PowerPoint presentation. Now, to summarize, this internship was a valuable learning experience for me. I was successful building a full stack MERN application, which is Homely Hub. I learned how to structure a React application, manage state, and interact with the backend API. I gained practical experience in building a secure Node.js and Express server that connects to a MongoDB database. I also learned how to implement key features like user authentication, image uploads, and payment processes. This project helped me achieve my internship goals, and now I have a solid foundation in MERN stack development. Now, let's move on to the demo of my project, which I'll be sharing now. So I am right now in my VS Code, and I have already run my project, and so I'll be opening my project here. So this is the home screen of the project where there are multiple properties over here, and then here there is search destination, start, end date, and you can add number of guests or how many people will be living. And then over here are filters. So here this price range ranging from 600 to 30,000. Then there are property types, house, flat, guest house, hotel, and then room type, that is entire home, room, any type, and then even amenities like Wi-Fi, kitchen, AC, washing machine, TV, pool, free parking. And then if you click on any of the properties, for example, let's click on this olive in. So here you can see the name is there, the city and the state, and there are a few images over here. You can click on them over here, and then there are more images over here, so you can basically scroll to see multiple images of the property. Now going back, there's a description over here, and here as they have mentioned maximum 10 guests, and over here the amenities provided by Olive Inn, which is kitchen, free parking, and Wi-Fi. And there's more over here, where in the footer you will see the location of the property, and then the extra information i- about the property. And then over here is the booking form. So basically here you can select start date, end date, number of guests, then name and phone number. Since I have already been logged in, it shows a booking place right now it's 0. So I can log out and log in once again. uh, Now again I'll select the same olive in. So right now as I'm been logged out, it shows login to book. So once I click on this login to book, since I've already created my account, I'll be logging with my username and password, and I have been logged in successfully. So over here, if you go to my profile in my account, so in my profile you can see full name, basically details of my account, and when I've joined over here. And not only that, even you can edit your profile. Example for name. So let's say I'll remove my surname and just update, and it's updated over here. Same goes for my booking. It shows your past bookings, and then my accommodation. Since I have not, if you want to add your own property, you can add over here by clicking on add new properties. Over here, as you can see, title, address, city, state, pin code, and then photos. And then over here you can upload photos, and then the description over here. And then you can select your property type over here, and there are even room types. And then you can click on amenities your property is providing, and then you can even add your extra information, check in details, and then save it. So let's go back to home screen, and let's show you, let just I'll just show you guys how it works. And it gets stored in my booking once I book over here. So let's select a random date over here, let's say 31st to 1st of November, and number of guests, let's say 2, say full name, hash, and random phone number. And and so this is the booking screen, where it shows detail of check-in, check-out, guests, nights, and then total amount is 3,500 since it's only one night. And this is the final booking payment screen, as you can see. And once you click on confirm payment, pop-up appears saying payment successful, and directly redirected to my booking screen. Over here it shows just now which I had booked. This is sunny side up, and as you can see booking information from which date to date, and total price of this. And let me just log out, and let's and not only that, even you can search destination. Now for example, if I type Goa, it will show properties only which are in Goa. So in Goa basically there's only Carnival, Luxury Apartments, and Xavier's Guest House. Not only that, even you can select start dates, let's say from 1st of November to 12th, and such shows. all the availability of properties which are available from 1st to 12th. So this is the project Homely Hub which I have done, and thank you.